For generations, the grandeur of Taranaki has enticed many people to attempt an ascent to the summit of this now dormant volcano. However, the weather can change very fast, and climbing the mountain is a serious undertaking that should not be underestimated. The mountain holds numerous tramping tracks for adventurers of all fitness levels. One of the most challenging tramps in the national park takes you high above the clouds for a truly breathtaking alpine view. Mount Taranaki Summit Route. The Taranaki Summit Route climbs 6.3 kilometres up the northern ridge of Taranaki. This might appear to be a simple day walk, but this is definitely not the case. This tramp is both technically and physically difficult and should only be attempted by experienced trampers with proper equipment and in good weather conditions. The best time of year to attempt the tramp is during the peak summer period of January through to April. Snow is present year-round, but snow cover will be at its lowest during these summer months. The average daily summer temperature sits around 1 to 7 degrees, with temperatures at the summit being substantially colder when wind or cloud is present. You can expect rain for over 212 days of the year, which frequently brings the mountain under cloud cover at all elevations. Mount Taranaki stands in isolation next to the ocean, and weather conditions here can change extremely quickly. So make sure you check the official National Park weather forecast at metservice.com before you go. Remember that you will be in an alpine environment, which means there's a good chance you will experience heavy rain, strong winds, snow, and freezing temperatures, even in the height of summer. You will need warm and waterproof clothing as well as a good pair of tramping boots. There is no access to water on the climb, so take enough to last the whole day. This will be a very long day, so make sure you leave early in the morning to ensure you have enough daylight hours to complete the tramp, and pack a head torch, just in case. As with all walks and tramps in New Zealand, make sure you leave your intentions with a trusted contact and inform them when you've finished your tramp. You can find out more about leaving your intentions at the Mountain Safety Council website. The beginning of the trek is at the North Egmont car park. Start your day by heading into the North Egmont Dock Visitor Centre to get information on the latest track and mountain conditions. Also, take a moment to once again check MetService for the day's weather forecast. If you arrive before the visitor centre opens, then take the time to read the signs and information boards at the start of the trek, as this is where any important messages will be posted. Also, use this time to let your trusted contact know your exact intentions if you decide to attempt the summit. The start of the track follows a dirt road that is fairly easy going and sheltered by the forest. As the road makes its way up the mountain, the forest will eventually give way to tussock, taking you all the way to Tahurangi Lodge. This is a good spot to have a rest, as this is the only shelter on the tramp, and a toilet can also be found 100 metres back down the track. This is also your first essential decision-making point, as the dirt road now gives way to an expert route which is far more difficult, undefined and exposed. Assess how everyone has been doing so far. The track gets much harder from here, so if you're unsure about your fitness, we recommend adjusting your plans. Also, this is a good spot to discuss a turnaround time to ensure you'll have enough time to get up and back down the mountain safely. Finally, check the weather higher up the mountain. If it's wet, windy, and you can't see the summit, or you have doubts about any of these points, turn around and head back down. From the lodge, you'll head into a gully. This initially starts as a thin route with large boulders to step over. However, the track quickly disappears, and you'll need to do a bit of rock scrambling. Just follow the numbered orange poles to stay on the correct route. This gully doesn't get much sun during the early morning, so these rocks can be icy and slippery for a good portion of the day. Use your hands to help you up and over the rocks, and be aware of where you place your feet to avoid lower leg injuries. The upper section of the gully has a set of stairs to take you up and out onto the ridgeline. Exposure to the elements will greatly increase as you move up the stairs, so use the top of the stairs as another good decision-making point. Take the time to once again reassess your group's fitness and confidence. The most physically demanding and exposed sections are still in front of you. Confirm that you are on track to reach the summit before your turnaround time. Finally, reassess the weather conditions and check the weather higher up the mountain. If you have doubts about any of these, then consider turning around. From here, the route becomes even more difficult as you start to ascend a long and exposed scree slope. The scree is very unstable, so every step up feels like you have slid 2 steps down. Progress will be slow, and it's both physically and mentally exhausting. You also need to be mindful of people above you sending scree down onto you, as well as you sending scree onto the people below. After 1 to 2 hours of climbing up the scree, you'll come to a noticeable change in terrain as the scree will give way to large, steep rocks. This section is known as the lizard. Here, signs will prompt you to use the start of the lizard as your final decision-making point. Again, reassess everyone's fitness and confidence, the weather conditions both here and further up the mountain, and make sure you are still on time to summit before your turnaround time. Although it may look like you're near the top, you still have 1.5 to 2 hours of climbing left, and the summit is only halfway. As you start up the lizard, you'll be climbing more than tramping, so use your hands to help you get past these big rocks. Visibility can often be poor, which makes the route difficult to see. Make sure you follow the numbered orange poles to stay safely en route. Just before you reach the crater, the track will narrow down and you'll need to walk along a skinny ledge. This section is not for the faint-hearted, as the large cliff above and below leaves you little room for error, so make sure you take your time. This ledge will lead you to the summit crater. The crater has snow in it year-round, which is a testament to the freezing temperatures up here, even during summer. You will need to pass over the crater to reach the summit. Depending on the conditions, this can be difficult, as the snow in the crater is often capped in ice. If ice is present, it's not recommended to go any further if you don't have crampons and an ice axe. However, during summer, the snow can soften, making crossing tricky but possible. Make sure to kick steps in to get the best grip and stability. There is one last small rock slope to climb, which can be very slippery when covered in ice, so take care as you approach the summit, especially in shaded areas. At the summit, enjoy the beautiful view above the clouds. Be aware that there are some rules up here. Taranaki has exceptional traditional and spiritual significance to the iwi of Taranaki and is recognised as taonga and ancestor. Therefore, Doc and the iwi of Taranaki ask that you give respect to the mountain and do not stand directly on the summit stone. Do not litter or camp up here, and remember to abide by the leave no trace principles. Reaching the summit is a great accomplishment, but now you have to do it all again in reverse. The majority of injuries happen on the descent, so make sure you take your time descending both the lizard and the scree sections, as you may be tired and mistakes can happen easily. The scree section is particularly difficult to navigate on the way down, and it's hard to control your momentum. It's best just to take it slow and use walking poles to keep your balance. A good pair of rigid tramping boots will make the world of difference here compared to flexible running shoes. If you've planned your day well, you should have plenty of time to descend. Taranaki offers a rewarding challenge for those with the necessary skills, experience and equipment to reach the summit. Remember, the best time to go is between January and April. Just be aware that this is not a simple tramp, and if conditions are poor, be prepared to turn around at any point. The weather changes fast and your trip will be dictated by the conditions on the day, so make sure you check the official Taranaki National Park weather forecast at metservice.com. Also, talk to the dock staff at the North Egmont Visitor Centre to get the latest information on track conditions. Otherwise, enjoy the tramp. It's not every day you get to climb a volcano.